Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. This is going to be a ZVP here on Shakuras Plateau, spawning in the bottom left position as the blue Zerg we have against all authorities Nerchio. His opponent today as our Protoss player is going to be spawning as the red Protoss in the bottom right position. Gonna have cHoBo. I don't know anything about cHoBo. Honestly, he's, like I said, ZOTAC Cup. That's just his opponent in the tournament. I don't know anything about this guy. Gonna be focusing a little bit more on the Nerchio side of things today. Grabbed a few random games off of the internets. As I said in game one, this is gonna be a best of one from the ZOTAC tournament, just a weekly little online tournament. Thought I would cast a few games of Nerchio's just to see how his game style has been doing. We just finished up a game between Nerchio and Goody, where Nerchio just had a ridiculously nice little game sense there, was able to pick, just based on seeing a barracks and no expansion, and a barracks with no add-on rather, he just immediately assumed 2-port Banshee, and he was absolutely correct, defended it beautifully. And now we're going to see how he handles this Protoss player. Now, cHoBo has thrown down this pylon at his natural expansion. Looks like he's going to be doing that Forge Fast expand that is oh so common for Protoss players in any matchup, really. Most Protoss players do go for that Forge Fast expand on this map just because it's so nice and easy to do. How is Nerchio going to be dealing with that? Wow, it actually looks like he's going to be going pool first on this map. Interestingly enough, this is a very, very interesting choice here by Nerchio, as most players just usually take their fast expansion so fast. And as we can see here, looks like cHoBo lost a probe there, and Nerchio calling him out for being a little bit greedy for trying to get that probe kill. Lost that probe there. So, Nerchio has one worker kill there. Nice little gain there for Nerchio. In the meantime, looks like Nerchio is going to be moving up into the natural expansion. See that there's a Forge Fast expand going down, and holy cow, looks like Nerchio is actually going to be throwing down an evolution chamber right now. Wow, did you actually see what he did there? He actually threw down a hatchery, canceled it, then immediately throw down the evolution chamber before the creep could go away. So Nerchio is actually going to be blocking this probe here from throwing down this nexus for quite a while and denying this expansion from going down for quite a while, which is of course what cHoBo has done as well for Nerchio. So wow, the tables have turned a little bit here for this Protoss player, as Nerchio has managed to deny his Forge Fast expand. I actually really like that from Nerchio. Is it worth it? Now, when you think about it, that cost Nerchio a bit of minerals. He spent 300 to throw down the hatchery. Then he only got 225 back for canceling it. So that means he lost 75, and then he lost another 75 here on this evolution chamber. So he lost 150 minerals in denying this nexus for as long as possible. But, I mean, man, that actually could potentially deal a lot of damage there, as cHoBo's timings are now just going to be a little bit messed up there. Most players at a high level will have very crisp timings, and most of the time Protoss players do not expect to get their hatchery or their nexus denied there for so long. As we can see, Nerchio did a fantastic job of denying that nexus there for a little bit. Now, how is Nerchio going to be following this up? We do see a cybernetics core going down right here for cHoBo. cHoBo still hasn't managed to throw down that nexus, so when is he going to be taking that expansion? I mean, he's got a little bit of a screwed up timing now, as now he's forced to get out this zealot. Since there are those lings out in front of his base, he's now forced to get a zealot and deny and delay his nexus even further. So as we can see, he's chrono boosting out a couple of zealots here just so that he can feel safe. He knows his opponent went for that early spawning pool, so it is definitely a possibility right now that Nerchio just builds up a ton of lings and just straight up attack his opponent. So cHoBo, in order to feel safe right now, needs to chrono boost out a couple of zealots here, which we can see is exactly what he's doing before getting down that nexus. Now, but we can see that Nerchio is not in fact getting down a lot of zerglings at this point in time. He's in fact getting up quite the opposite. He's getting up a lot of drones, and he's getting up a third hatchery very fast here. So he's going for a very economic play. Looks like cHoBo is going to be poking into his opponent's base, going to try to see what exactly Nerchio is doing. Needs to get a good read on what his opponent is doing. He's going to know that at least this natural went down because that pylon was there for a while, did get taken out. Probably can assume that at least this second expansion is now down here for Nerchio. Is going to be poking in here with these two zealots. They are now moving in, and as we can see, Nerchio is moving his Overlord into position at that natural expansion, seeing that how much damage he did really. At this point in time, let's check out that harvester count. We can see that Nerchio, he has had to sacrifice a few probes to be able to get this, or a few workers rather, to be able to get up this third hatchery quite fast. But now that he's on that third hatchery, I think he's going to be getting up the workers quite fast. Now, cHoBo, as we can see, has managed to get up a Stargate. Looks like he's going to try to deny that third. But as we can see, cHoBo's timings now are just really, really delayed. This Void Ray is actually going to be rather late compared to when that Void Ray usually comes out. Usually this Void Ray is going to be out just a little bit sooner than this. This is actually just a little bit late of a Void Ray here. Nerchio is now moving in with a few lings here, and is he able to actually see that Stargate? Yes, he can actually see that Stargate, and he can actually see that Void Ray being produced out of that Stargate as well. And well, now, if he didn't know that that Void Ray was coming out before, he knows it's there now, because this one Void Ray is now out on the map. We can see Spore Crawlers already going down for Nerchio. Nerchio well prepared for this eventuality as the Evolution Chamber is down, and Spore Crawlers are going down at, looks like, just the third right now, because that is definitely a good read there by Nerchio, because, well, that's exactly going to be the first place that cHoBo is going to want to go. He's going to want to get out that Void Ray and try to deny that third. That is typically what Protoss players do with that first Void Ray, but as we can see that this Void Ray has been so delayed that Nerchio has been able to get up one Spore Crawler in plenty of time to be able to handle this Void Ray. As we can see, he's even already mining on this third base. A lot of times, Protoss, when they come in here to try to deny this third, it'll still be building. But as we can see, Nerchio just delayed it for long enough that now he was able to get up this expansion, get up a Spore Crawler. As we can see, now he's just leisurely getting up a Spore Crawler at his natural expansion as well, not even bothering to get one up at his main quite yet. Yeah, it looks like a Roach Warren going down right now for Nerchio, so he's going to be going for some Roach tech here. We do see melee attacks level 1 coming in here for Nerchio. One possibility here for Nerchio is that he goes for a Ling Roach timing attack. This is something that's become increasingly popular with Zerg players. Will that be the tech that Nerchio is going for? In the base of cHoBo right now, we see another Void Ray currently being produced right now. Looks like with this one Void Ray, he's decided that he's not going to be able to do too much damage with it, and he's now going to try to get some map control, try to see if he can't pick off a few Overlords here. He did manage to finally pick off that one that was sitting behind his base, but we do see 2 more Void Rays now coming into the main expansion here of Nerchio. Nerchio got 20 Zerglings currently on the way. No Roaches being produced yet. Are there any out on the map? No, there are no Roaches yet on the map here. 2 Void Rays now coming in. Going to start to deal some damage to that Extractor. Going to start charging up here, but Nerchio moving in with the Spore Crawler, going to plant him right underneath those Void Rays. Those Void Rays currently focusing down that Queen, and will the Queen go down? No! Well, there we go. Looks like the Queen finally does go down there for Nerchio. In the meantime, his other Queens are coming up here to try to save the day. That Spore Crawler is going to deny these Void Rays from dealing too much damage. Let's check out that Harvester count right now. Wow, holy cow, I'm actually surprised cHoBo has actually managed to keep up in Harvester count despite Nerchio being way ahead. Nerchio is actually even in food count right now with cHoBo, so I'm actually kind of surprised at that. These Void Rays in the meantime are coming in, dealing some more damage, trying to be very, very annoying here. These 2 Queens trying to deal as much early harassment as they can as Nerchio tries to get in with these Spore Crawlers. These Spore Crawlers, of course, in a recent patch, I think it was in 1.3, that they did change Spore Crawlers so that they plant much, much faster than they used to. I believe they now plant in just 6 seconds as opposed to before when I think they used to take 12 seconds to plant down. As we can see, yeah, it looks like those only take, 6 seconds now to plant. So it looks like those Spore Crawlers are very, very good at handling these Void Rays. He just needs to keep uprooting them and then just dropping them wherever they need to go down. And it looks like these Void Rays being rather ineffective here and really not dealing that much damage considering the amount of money that he put into these Void Rays. These Void Rays do have a few kills each. Looks like each one has 3 or 4 kills. Getting a lot of drone kills right now here for cHoBo. Currently, looks like he's currently sitting at a lot. Holy cow, I'm not missing out on a big counterattack here going on by Nerchio. He actually has Lings running into the natural expansion and the main dealing a lot of damage there. I'm actually going to go back and see that because I actually really, really want to see how he was able to quite get into there. And there we go. Looks like all those Zerglings. Yeah, it looks like they're just not much attention being paid here by cHoBo, and it looks like all those Zerglings managed to just slip straight through there. That Zealot not quite doing his job. Nerchio now moving into the expansion here. Looks like he's going to get into that mineral line, start to get a lot of worker kills here for Nerchio. We do see that these workers are still going down here for cHoBo as well, and it looks like Nerchio now going to be sitting back, gonna get an assimilator, maybe gonna start focusing down that assimilator. No, looks like he's gonna be actually going to just try to take out a few units here as he tries to deal with these Void Rays. 2 of the Void Rays did finally go down to all of these queens here at the 3rd expansion here for Nerchio, and Nerchio just getting up a lot of drones. We do see a Spire coming up now on the way here for Nerchio. We see lots of roaches being produced here. Looks like he's gonna try to beat a Colossus timing attack, as he was in here earlier. Did manage to see that this robotics bay went down, as well as this robotics facility. So he's going to know Colossus Tech are on the way, so he's going to start needing to get up some corruptors to be able to deal with it. In the meantime, he's going to be pushing forward with a lot of roaches here. These roaches do have that roach speed, and it looks like he's going to be able to deny this 3rd from going down, or will cHoBo be able to hold this force field? It's really not that effective going down here for cHoBo. Looks like those force fields are actually kind of hurting him, as it's really not allowing him to get his zealots in there to deal any kind of damage whatsoever, and looks like a lot of zealots going down there to Nerchio's roaches, and Nerchio continuing to focus down this Nexus. Will he be able to take it down? There is 1 Colossus currently out on the field for cHoBo, but it looks like Nerchio's focusing down that Nexus, and that 3rd Nexus is going to fall, and now that means that Nerchio is going to be 3 base to cHoBo's 2 base. Lots of Lings now streaming across the map here for Nerchio. We're going to see some Corruptors here coming out on the map pretty soon as well, I'm sure, as the Spire is now up. And let's check out that harvester count right now, as Nerchio actually lost a lot of drones to that worker harass. He actually got 16 worker kills of his own, 7 workers killed by cHoBo so far, so I guess not too bad there for Nerchio. But Nerchio is starting to get a very big force of Lings and roaches up right now. He needs to attack very soon before the Colossus count gets too high right now. A 2nd Colossus is currently being produced by cHoBo. Once that 2nd Colossus is out, he's going to be in a fairly good spot, but Nerchio, once he gets up those corruptors, is going to be very, very able to deal with just a couple of corruptors. We do see a Colossus, rather. We do see a 4th hatchery coming down now for Nerchio. Looks like he's going to start to saturate that, and holy cow, look at all this creep spread. Now that Nerchio has all these queens that were able to deny those Void Rays from dealing too much damage, we can see that he's now just going to be using him to spread a whole lot of creep across the map. And here we go. Looks like Nerchio is going to start to poke into that 3rd expansion, going to try to see if he can't deny that 3rd expansion from going down. Once again, cHoBo is being denied a base for quite a bit longer than he really would have liked. And it looks like Nerchio is going to start to get a little bit aggressive here. If we check out the food count right now, we can see that Nerchio is up quite a bit, 148 food to 119 food of cHoBo. Nerchio in a very, very good spot in terms of the food count right now. And there we go. Now we finally have some corruptor production here for Nerchio. We do see +1 ground carapace, as well as +2 Zerg melee attack coming down here for Nerchio. Looks like he's going to be relying on those Zerglings to deal the damage. And now all the forces of Nerchio now pulling back. Looks like cHoBo is finally deciding to move out and get aggressive here. He's got 3 Colossus currently out on the field. Where are those Corruptors? There are those Corruptors. 9 Corruptors currently on the field here for Nerchio. And Nerchio is going to be pushing forward with a large force. Nice force field there going down for cHoBo. These oh man, I cannot think of anything right now. These Colossi have that extended range ability, but these Corruptors just going over all the forces of cHoBo right now, managing to chase down those Colossus, and those Colossus going down rather fast. All the Colossi now going down here for cHoBo. More nice force fields here going down for Nerchio, but Nerchio is now in such a good spot. He's saturated on 3 bases, getting saturated on 4 bases, and now just producing a lot of roaches. Tons of roaches now streaming across the map here for Nerchio. For Rochio, I almost said. For Rochio. In the meantime, a pack of Zerglings here going to be poking up, see if any expansion's going down there. Definitely a smart move there by Nerchio. In the meantime, lots of roaches and Corruptors now coming across the field here, and I don't think cHoBo is going to be able to get up enough Colossi in time to be able to deal with this, so Nerchio just needs to produce a lot of roaches right now and outproduce his opponent. He's now coming in. We actually see a mothership currently being chrono boosted out here by cHoBo. Nerchio is streaming around the side, trying to get a good angle. Not the best angle here for Nerchio, but I think he's just so far ahead in the food count right now. More roaches continuing to be streaming in, a few queens even here, dealing some damage here. Will he get a transfuse off on that queen? Looks like that queen is going to go down here, but cHoBo now is going to be pulling back, trying to catch this force off of guard, and Nerchio once again seeing that mothership is going to be coming out here pretty soon. He's pulling back. Is he going to be getting any kind of detection up? We see Hive Tech currently on the way here for Nerchio as he gets up lots more roaches. More roaches are still streaming in here for Nerchio. Currently 175 food to the 115 food of cHoBo. Definitely just trying to blindly just throw lots and lots of units at his opponent. Definitely he is able to do that right now, just because he's so far ahead economically right now. He's not actually that far ahead in workers, but just because he's been on 3 base for so much longer than his opponent has been, he can now just afford to just constantly produce roaches and constantly just hurl them at his opponent, and that is exactly what we are seeing here. He's losing a lot of roaches in this process right now. On the units lost tab, we can see that both the players have actually lost quite a considerable number of resources, but Nerchio just continuing to outproduce cHoBo right now. 160 food to 94, and more roaches just streaming in. The mothership is now up. Will the mothership go down here? It's actually cloaking that nexus. Let's check out that vision right now of Nerchio's. As we can see, Nerchio does not even see that that nexus is there anymore, and there we go. Now the mothership finally goes down as cHoBo GG's out of this game. Well played game there by Nerchio. I absolutely love Nerchio's style. Wow. Nerchio just, he goes for a very standard style, but he adds just very small things like the evolution chamber, denying that nexus for a little while. And very good use of Spore Crawler, very good game sense, knows exactly when his opponents are doing things, very, very well versed in timings. Absolutely loving this play. Finally, for this day, we are going to be going into a ZVZ here from Nerchio. I think the ZVZ that I downloaded was actually a ZVZ between Nerchio and Dark Force, both absolutely amazing Zerg players, both players that I really, really love watching, so I'm actually very, very curious to know who's going to be winning that ZVZ, so stick with me if you want to see a little bit more of Nerchio coming up in just a moment. ZVZ right now, guys.